Hey Shelby Bells, it's Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. In today's video, you guys, I'm a little annoyed. I thought I was done filming for the day. I thought I was done, but I was on Instagram and I saw some post about the latest H3 podcast. And it made me like have to turn on the podcast and watch because I was just like, what is even Ethan talking about? Like, what is going on here? Basically, Ethan, in my humble opinion, made some very insensitive comments, very, dare I say, borderline anti-LGBTQ comments about just like gay men and you know, doing the deed, two men doing the deed. And I just really, honestly, it rubbed me the wrong way. I have to tread carefully with how I word things in this video because I don't want to get demonetized. So bear with me, but if you're interested in hearing more about that drama, make sure that you keep on watching. Mr. Kitty, you saw it too. You did a good job, Mr. Kitty. You finally brought us the tea. I know it, Mr. Kitty, and you took the feedback, and you know now that you have to be on it with the tea, Mr. Kitty. You can't slack. The people want the tea, and you got to deliver it. So I know that, you know, you wanted to cuddle, and it was time to stop, you know, working for the night. But I'm proud of you for getting the tea out, Mr. Kitty, in a timely manner. Isn't that right, Mr. Kitty? Okay, Mr. Kitty. Well, thank you so much. And the people thank you so much too. And thank you for giving us this Ethan Klein tea. Yeah, okay. Well, I know it, miss. You did a good job. You're training your brother. You're training your brother to bring us the tea in a timely fashion. I already know. So, you guys, in this latest episode of the H3 podcast, they started talking about James Charles, who I haven't made a video about this topic yet because, quite honestly, I don't like to talk about James Charles. He grosses me out, girl. He makes me very uncomfortable. So I don't really like to talk about him. But they were talking about James Charles and the fact that James Charles has been exposed for wearing or purchasing diapers on his Amazon account. He accidentally included that little clip in a video, and people they think it's hilarious. They think the reason that he has the diapers is because he got a BBL, and there might be some situations going on down there, but Ethan decided to talk about the whole thing with that on his podcast today and why James Charles might have been purchasing diapers. Quite frankly, girl, it sounds like some weird stuff to me. I don't know. I just ate ice cream. I have like chronic heartburn, you guys. I don't really mess with James Charles. I don't really want to know why he's wearing diapers. A lot of people think he might be wearing diapers because it's some sort of like thing he's into. Like he bought them. He could have been buying them for maybe like a grandmother, grandfather, who knows? Or he could be buying them for himself because he's into some weird stuff. I don't know. Ethan Klein seemed to think he's into some weird stuff, but it just had... The whole topic of this James Charles purchasing diapers thing led into a segue of a conversation that made me severely uncomfortable. I'm a straight woman, but just being someone who is a huge ally of the LGBT community. I mean, look, I'm wearing a Trevor Project shirt today. Hello. Like, I am a huge ally for the LGBTQ community. And it made me uncomfortable because I didn't like where this conversation was heading. I didn't like the tone that Ethan Klein was using. Anyway, I'm gonna roll you guys the clip so you can hear it. Roll it.
Oh, actually, I have an update. I'm sorry, Matt. Matt, regarding your comment about James Charles, upon further research, we've found that more websites say there's no diaper needed after a BBL. So it could be that he likes what they call play. And he is into young folks.
Well, we know James Charles has strong feelings about age.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, sister snapped.
Well, I know one thing. He's got to be real embarrassed he accidentally included that.
Brutal.
Okay, Matt, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the tangent there. So what have I got wrong about top-bottom stereotypes there?
Yeah, so like, and this is kind of an ongoing thing. It just kind of, it made me really want to call in today because like with you guys, just like when you guys were all, you poor straight males all, you know, you a group of poor straight males having to discuss such a topic. I mean, you know, it's okay. I mean, you're not, it's okay. I just wanted to get involved because like, I know there's a lot of times it comes up where you bring in where you often bring up people that you feel inclined. I know often you feel inclined to describe someone where you think they might be a bottom, and I think that that's often a misconception, that like bottoms may be passive or the.
Well, I just mean that he likes
partner.
I just mean that he likes to take it up the.
Correct. But how can you know that about someone?
Well, that was just a theory about because he wears diapers. It's just a theory.
Oh no, I'm moving on from James Charles. I'm sorry. I don't care about James Charles that much. Well, he should be in jail. What I mean, beyond that, what do I care about James Charles?
Okay, so
I'm talking about sometimes. Like I think I don't keep a running tally. I love you. I'm not keeping track of everything you do wrong. I'm not Keemstar. I don't have a document on my desk.
Appreciate that.
But there have been times. I think one that comes to mind was maybe Jordan Peterson, that you described as probably being someone that would be a bottom. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But like I've heard you at times maybe say like, oh, this is someone that might be a bottom. And I think that sometimes like that's not oftentimes like a misconception. Like I think if you met like I'm gay. Let's just throw that out there. And I mean I'm married. And I think, like, if you met me and my husband, you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell which is which. And that's something that, like, you can't always tell. And it's, like, you might always think that the bottom, and a power bottom is a good example. I mean, we can get to that. But, like, you can't always tell, like, who's the top, who's the bottom.
So do you find it offensive if I say, by being like, oh, he's probably a bottom? Is that the problem?
Absolutely.
It's offensive.
Because it is, because it's, because saying someone's a bottom in particular, I think, is probably a bit troublesome, because it kind of, it starts to kind of, gay men already, you have to deal with certain assumptions about femininity and masculinity. I'm sure you understand that. I'm not going to throw out the whole.
I mean, it is
term.
funny
You're
though. I don't know. I think the problem is that the term power bottom is very funny to me. And sometimes
it's hilarious.
And sometimes, you know, these alpha men give power bottom vibes.
They could be,
but it's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing. That's the problem. I think maybe the joke is the dichotomy of like their persona of ultra masculinity, but then like the joke being that they're a power bottom. But okay, I see your point.
It's not anything wrong.
I see your point.
As a good counterexample, like I didn't find anything wrong with your and Brittany's usage when you guys were kind of throwing those things around. Like when you and Brittany were talking about it the other day, I didn't find anything wrong with anything you said that day. I thought everything there was okay.
Matt, I will be more conscious of my use of power bottom.
I don't. Yeah, but I think it's more. I think it's more okay. I think the ascription of like throwing out that someone is just a bottom, like because it just ascribing certain roles to people. That's all I'm asking for, is just be a little more conscious of it. I know you don't mean any harm. You never mean any harm.
I'm harmless.
You know your humor gets away from you.
Let me ask you this, Matt. Is it possible? So would you consider yourself a top or a bottom, or you don't do that the labels?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I knew you were going to go there, and I mean this with all peace and love and with respect, Ethan. It's none of your business.
Oh, sure. I mean, you can. That's a totally valid response. You don't have to answer the question.
Because from there.
But you have a preference, one way or the other.
Yeah, but that's another dangerous assumption too. Because
Can I guess?
A lot of gay men don't have a preference.
Can I guess?
So that's another dangerous stereotype. What's that?
Can I guess what is your preference?
You can.
Will you tell me if it's right, if I guess right?
No.
Well, but either way, you would.
How about this? How about this one? You do a good job. You try to learn from this and do better. And then in 5-6 months, when you've shown some growth, then I'll tell you.
Okay.
Matt.
Seems fair.
Matt. The reason you're... Okay, you know what? I'm not going to get into it, Matt. But we all know which one you prefer.
Yeah, I think you probably do.
Yeah, and that's great. People that receive,
as long as you understand where I'm coming from on this.
To be honest, I don't really. I'm trying, but I don't. I mean, I get it. Like, I get the thing that like power bottom. It's this weird assumption to make or to use it in a derogatory way. I get because to be on the bottom is to give. It's to give. You know, it's a gracious thing to give and to receive like that.
I think you're misunderstanding what a power bottom is. Like, because generally a bottom is like the receptive partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's someone who's just receptive. A power bottom. So generally a bottom is kind of assumed to be the more passive partner. A power bottom is a bottom who is just the more active bottom.
Oh, okay, I see. So they'll it. They can a power bottom will it, where a regular bottom will just kind of lay there.
Generally, yeah. What did you think a power bottom was?
I thought it was just someone that liked receiving rather than giving.
Yeah, no, that's just a bottom.
No, a bottom.
Okay, so so the power bottom is someone who enthusiastically.
And they're probably the more active one.
Okay, so what's the problem? I misunderstood the label.
A bottom is obviously someone if someone's taking it, they enjoy it.
Yeah, of course. But you could be. I guess you could be on some days a bottom and some days a power bottom, which is great. God bless them. God bless you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Matt. Well, keep it up, man. I'm sure you are having fantastic.
I hope.
And everything's good. Do you wear? You don't need diapers or anything, right?
About leakage. The only thing I know about leakage, I have never heard of that in anyone.
Right.
I have never heard of that. I think that's more. I do think that happens sometimes in older gays, but I think it's more of like a thing that kind of maybe is. Like I think it probably comes from other things that come with being older men.
Can I ask you a question? I mean, no disrespect at all.
Oh boy.
Okay. Sure.
This is just purely in the pursuit of knowledge. Well, first I appreciate you saying like correcting the leakage thing, but like if you are a regular receiver of, that I'm not saying you are. I don't know. But if you were, does the poop pass like any differently from before? Or is it all normal functions? Like I get it doesn't leak out, but I wonder if it just comes out a little different.
No. Yes. No. I mean, I have. I'm more like. I mean, I think you and I have more similar stomachs. But yeah, no, it's. I think I'm more. I relate to you a lot. I'm in the bathroom a lot.
Yeah.
But no, it's regular. But
okay.
I'm
Interesting.
My stomach's about as irritable as yours. But yeah, no, it's more normal.
Okay. Well, there you go. You see, that's good knowledge to have. So, all right, Matt.
I've never heard of anyone. I have never heard of anyone having like just
that bad
leaking.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well,
but I think it does happen to sometimes older gays.
That does narrow the options.
Like 50, 60.
It does narrow the options, doesn't it? On the James Charles diaper thing.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. You take care.
There's just so many things wrong with what Ethan was saying, and I want to preface this by saying that I'm not sure Ethan comes from a place of a bad place. I don't think it comes from a place of hate. I think it comes from a place of misguided humor and also like not being able to read the room. First of all, I didn't like how it seemed like he was trying to seem like he was better, or that he was like almost annoyed by the caller. The fact that the caller was challenging him, I think the fact that he was annoyed with that came across a lot in the video. And it's like, well, if you're going to accept callers to come onto your podcast, sometimes they're going to challenge you. And that's like something that you're going to have to deal with. For you to be immediately like dismissive in your body language and like your facial expressions and stuff to somebody that you allowed to come on as a guest caller onto your podcast, like if you're going to allow callers to come in and give their opinions on stuff, you need to be open to hearing what they have to say, even if it's something you don't like or they're challenging you, because that is what you're opening the door to. And you know, some people said in my comment section of one of my other Ethan Klein videos I did recently that he is quite often like that, where he's dismissive of his team if they don't like what he has to say, or if they disagree with him, he is dismissive, or sometimes you know, gets like lashes out back to them or gets sassy or whatever. And I think that like I kind of witnessed that for myself in this, to be quite honest with you. No hate, much peace and love to Ethan, but it was kind of cringe. But then I just really didn't like how he pushed this guy to talk about his experiences in the bedroom and what he preferred in the bedroom as a gay man. I really didn't like that. And this is just the thing about people in general. Some people are very open to talk about what they do in the bedroom. They're very open to talk about what they like, what they don't like, how they do it, when they do it, with who they do it, what they use, what they don't use, and all of that. Some people are very, very open to talk about that. Some people prefer to keep the things that they do in the bedroom private because that's just who they are. And it doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, bisexual, anything. If you don't want to talk about it, then you shouldn't have to talk about it. And I believe that there's a big stigma out there in the world that a lot of people just think it's okay to flat out and straight up ask a gay man if they're a top or a bottom. And that's absolutely inappropriate, honestly. It honestly is inappropriate. There's a lot of gay men out there that will gladly tell you what they are. Okay, and that's just because that might be who they are. And I think maybe culturally, I think a stereotype would be that gay men are more open to talk about that kind of stuff than maybe like straight women are. But it doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. Everybody is different. And just because you're a gay man doesn't mean that you're just like gonna like shout from the rooftops what you like to do in the bedroom. And I feel like Ethan Klein really missed the mark with this because you shouldn't assume that from somebody. The questions he was asking him is if I were to call on the phone and he were to ask me, like, what do you like to do in the bedroom? Do you like to take it from this angle, from this angle, from this? Do you like to include this? Like what? And it's just like, come on. Like, you would never ask a straight woman that. You would never ask a straight woman that on your podcast. And you would hate it if your wife went onto a podcast and she was asked those questions. So it's like, you can't assume just because someone's orientation that they're going to want to talk about these things with you. And that really rubbed me the wrong way. It's just not a good look. And then he kind of pushed it. And the guy even said like, hey, this is none of your business. I'm not going to talk to you about it. And then what I really didn't like was then Ethan manipulated the conversation in a direction that got this poor guy on the phone who clearly was just a huge fan of Ethan Klein, was so excited to be on the podcast. If you guys hear in the clip, he was kind of, Miss Kitty, they always use a kitty box when I'm filming. Miss, do you have to do it right now, miss? Oh my God. But the guy you could kind of hear was like really kind of struggling to stand his ground with Ethan because he is such a huge fan. He was definitely intimidated by the situation of being on the podcast with him, was excited, and was probably feeling a lot of emotions, probably very nervous. So standing up for himself, which is what he called in to do, probably wasn't as easy as he thought it was going to be when he initially made the call, right? And I don't like how it felt to me like I said, peace and love to Ethan Klein, because I know the H3 foot soldiers are vicious and they were going to attack me in this comment section down below. And I already know. But it felt like to me, like he manipulated the conversation in a way to get the answer that he wanted out of this guy, Matt, on the phone. And I didn't like that. You know, it seems to be a pattern of behavior that's going on with Ethan Klein right now. Ever since he started bringing on these guest callers to the show, where things are kind of being highlighted, you know, like things about Ethan are coming out, you know, it's kind of like the mask is kind of falling off in a sense. And I don't know, like I just feel like there's issues every single time he has callers on the show. So if he's going to continue to have callers on the show, he might want to kind of think about the things that he says or how he reacts or how he looks on camera when he's talking to them. In my opinion, he looks very dismissive of people. Like he doesn't really want to be on the call with them. And, you know, when they say anything he doesn't agree with, I find that his body language changes and he just kind of is over the whole thing. So I don't know. This is an awkward video for me to make. I don't necessarily not like Ethan Klein. I wouldn't say I don't like Ethan Klein. I really don't not like him. I do like him. I just think that this really missed the mark, and I feel the need to step up as an ally and say something because overall, you just can't assume what somebody's bedroom preferences are based on their orientation or their personality. You can't just look at someone and be like, oh, this this person acts feminine, so they must be a bottom. You can't do that. It's not, I mean, like, everybody is different, and it's just not, do you guys get what I'm saying? It's just icky to me. It's just, the whole thing is icky, the way he acted. Okay guys, while I was editing this video, Ethan Klein did post this tweet as an apology. He says, "To my LGBTQ plus fans, I am sorry for comments on today's show. The blankization of gay men and the grouping of tops and bottoms is a stereotype that I will be trying to unlearn. Apologies to the caller too, who I shouldn't have pressed inappropriately. Hope you guys know I always mean well." I don't know. Let me know, what do you guys think about Ethan Klein and how he reacted to this caller? And let me know in the comment section down below. I can't talk tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me. Lately, I've been really stumbling over my words. I don't really know what's going on. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Ethan missed the mark with this? Do you think Ethan was valid in the things he was saying? Do you think that he sounded a little bit anti-LGBTQ? I don't know. To me, some of it sounded like that. He did have a fair point in us as viewers assuming the of the people that were on the show. We don't know what they are, all of them, so okay, we don't know everybody that works for H3 what they are. That's a fair point. But what do you think about all this? I mean, I don't know what to think. I felt like it was really icky. That's my viewpoint on it. I don't know, it's kind of cringe, I get it, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. And that's gonna be it for today's video, you guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below, don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified of all my future videos when they do post. Remember, all Shelby bells ring the bell. And yeah guys, if you enjoyed today's video, YouTube should be suggesting a couple more down here for you to choose from, so I'd love it if you did that. And aside from that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.